Hello and welcome to the Dojo Live Recap Show this Monday, February 19th, 2024. For those of you who happen to be connected and working today. And if not, you can catch us later tomorrow when your Tuesday is like your Monday. My name is Kim Lantis and joining me is my co-host, America Guerrero.
Hey, Kim. Happy President's Day in the United States.
That's right. Happy President's Day. And so, yes, what do we do on the Dojo Live Recap Show? We talk about the shows that we had last week and, of course, introduce you to what's coming up this week as well. And if you didn't get a chance to catch those live, you feel free to do so on our site, dojo.live, or our many social media outlets that there are as well. But last week, we did have one show. It was a really, really fun show. It was with Andrej Safundzic, who is the CEO, I believe, and co-founder of Lumos. And that was all about managing the APPocalyse, right? And really answering the question of how organizations can improve their app usage, entitlements, spending, and more. America, what were some of your takeaways from Andrej's show?
I remember that we kicked off the conversation with Andre by delving into his background. I do remember that he has experience with social entrepreneurship and working
he started really young.
Yes, and working with the German government before he jumped into co-founding Lumos. So that gave him a lot of experience with the following topic. So
yeah. I super liked his story too, and I think his mentality, he started off and his mantra or something was screw it and do it, right? Which I found to be super, super fun, right? A lot about his personality, his young entrepreneurship. He started, I believe, with some type of an NGO in Africa, helping, which is still going on today. I think that's helping on the tech side, founding there. And then, like you said, with the German government, very cool guy, very motivated, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And he knew about the IT world and that apocalypse that he mentioned. He shared, I remember that the companies are struggling with facing in software applications. With this, it involves reducing unnecessary software spending or spending up the painfully process of getting your hands on new apps. So that kind of mess that is out there, he knew about the problem and the apocalypse, and then he built the solution that Lumos offers.
I remember a couple numbers that he threw out there. I believe he said 700, that most companies, most organizations have a total of 700 different apps that they're trying to manage. Of course, that's a heavy load for the IT team. He also mentioned that for them, he's found sort of this tipping point, this threshold for companies, and when they could utilize something like Lumos being around the 200 employee mark. Yeah, but it's really cool what they're doing. Basically, it's an app marketplace for organizations. And so it's helping the, CISO, the IT leaders, and all of those folks manage better, right? Ease the workload of permissions, lowering spend because it gives better visibility to the apps that are already existing. And maybe even sort of this like face-off component, right? Where you can have two different teams within organizations using similar apps, and then we can kind of come together under one umbrella. So yeah, lowering spend, helping with alerts and everything else. And so
yes, really and it is amazing how this also changed the IT and security roles over time. We briefly discussed.
Or he expects it will change. Well, he did talk about how they have changed, right?
And there is this concern about jobs and with automation and AI. And with Lumos, I do think that he said that with this service, you can suggest safe apps, and when it's just right for companies to jump. I don't remember that line that he said. Sorry for that.
It's all right. It's all right. Well, if it comes back to you, please do share. But I think the final piece, he did walk us through, I think, the 3 phases of how IT has changed. I don't remember those phases. That's a good reason for you to watch the show and just the IT history, but the evolution of that role and what he sees. And I think this is where we left off with the show, right? The evolution of how that role is coming, particularly with his vision at Lumos. And he talked about something I really liked, the analogy of this hero's journey, right? writing a story and creating characters or personas. And he envisions what he's calling the tech ops engineer, right? They're being the future. They're moving away from, I think, what it was. I'm having a brain fart too today, but basically moving away from just the day-to-day work and into the infrastructure side. So essentially being what DevOps is, but for the organization. So he's trying to create sort of that tech ops engineer. So visionary, really cool show, a really cool product to, of course, help organizations out there to do their jobs better. Right? So
Easier.
please check that show out. And this week we've got two. My camera's a little off today. Two shows coming up. We'll kick it off on Wednesday, the 21st, with
Rena Saad, founder and CEO of the company Too Small. And we're going to talk about using technology to contact travelers and tourists with authentic local artisans. Is that correct?
artisans.
Artisans. Yeah. How can authentic cultural experiences like artisan workshops redefine and enrich travel? That's going to be really interesting.
I'm
I've never
excited
thought
about
about
this
it.
too.
Uh-huh.
I'm excited about the marketplace they're building, the ease of connecting. As someone, I wish I could say that I've traveled, internationally more than I have. But I have been to Africa. I have been to Brazil. I came to Mexico, stayed here. Didn't know I was going to stay here for most of my life. But it is interesting because I remember being like, when I go traveling and you go into gift shops, I'm like, is this like actually from here, or was this made in China and imported?
Mhm.
And so it's really cool to help, of course, the traveler. And then I think a really great way to help the artisan as well. And I think it's also part of leveling the playing field. I think making sure that people are getting what they deserve, right? So I think that's really, really cool. I'm excited to have that conversation. And then on Thursday, the 22nd, we're going to follow this up with part 4 of our 5-part series with Provision Partners. This is our Do More in 24 series about implementing AI, particularly in the hospitality industry. And so that's going to be with David Chesler. At the very least, probably someone else from the Provision team as well. And this conversation is going to be focused around the testing component and the iteration component of that process. So please catch both of these shows at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific, Wednesday and Thursday. We'll see you then. Bye for now.